Hi everybody. I just wanted a quick video to kind of summarize this week a little bit. Of course, last week we just got started. This week finishing up chapter 1, just some of the basics of biology and getting into chapter 35. But mainly today I want to focus on the scientific method. That's a lot of times where I see some students struggling with some of the terms. So I just wanted to come up with something quick and easy to kind of go through the scientific method and some of the terms. So what I have here, I'm just looking to see my question: does vinegar or water dissolve candy canes faster? So which one would be better if I wanted to dissolve a candy cane for some reason? Again, not that that's something you would maybe want to do, but just illustrating the scientific methods. So work with me here. All right, so what I have is some vinegar in a jar, I have some water in one, and then nothing in one. And I have candy canes. All 3 candy canes came from the same company. They have the same weight, same shape, all that good stuff. So to set up my experiment, we need our 3 variables and we need our 2 groups. So remember our variables: independent variable, what we're studying; the dependent, what's changing, what we're measuring; and then our controlled are all the other things we want to try to control for, so that we're only looking at the independent variable. Now, then we have an experimental group, which is the group receiving the treatment, and then the control, which is not. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get this one started as I talk. So I'm going to add, at the same time, to the vinegar and to the water, I'm going to add my candy canes so that they can start dissolving. All right, now my third glass here doesn't have anything in it. So this is going to be my control group. This is what the candy cane looks like whenever it started. It's completely undissolved. So again, that's my control group. Both of these are my experimental group because I'm comparing 2 different things. I'm comparing vinegar to water. So in this situation, I have 2 experimental groups. So if you did the MetabaHerb assignment, that's similar to what should have happened there. They should have had a field using MetabaHerb and a field using SuperGrow, because they were claiming their product was better than SuperGrow, but they never tested SuperGrow. So they had a control where they didn't use fertilizer, but they really couldn't claim, they didn't support their claim that it was better than SuperGrow because they didn't have that experimental group. All right, now, again, as far as our variables, in this situation, again, very simple idea here, but in this I'm studying the liquid is what is the focus, whether it's vinegar or water. So I'm looking at the effects of the solution on dissolving the candy cane. So the solutions I'm using would be my independent variable. Now my dependent is what I'm measuring, and that's going to be how long it takes to dissolve this candy cane. So I would have a timer that would be counting to see which one dissolves the fastest. So again, that's what I'm measuring, is my time to being dissolved. So that would be my dependent variable. Now, other things, anything else that could affect that should be controlled for. So for example, using the same kind of candy cane, so we wouldn't want one really big candy cane and a little candy cane. Of course, the little one's going to dissolve faster. So we want to control that, the weight, the brand, that type of thing. Even my jars that I'm using here, they're the same. They're both glasses. The temperature of the liquids, they were the same. They're both at room temperature. So again, anything else that can potentially affect my results, I want to control for. Those are controlled variables. Again, now there's also a control group. Make sure you know the difference between controlled variable, control group. So our control group is here. It's not receiving any solution, so no independent variable. And then again, both of these are my experimental groups. Okay, so again, with our scientific method, we want to identify the independent variable, the effect we're looking at. The dependent is what we're measuring, and then controlled are all the other things kept the same to isolate that independent variable. So just looking at the solutions. Then our experimental group is the group or groups receiving our treatment, and then the control group is not receiving the treatment, but everything else is the same. All right, if you're still kind of confused about scientific method, please let me know. I can come up with some other examples, give you some kind of more practice to help you get ready for that test. Thanks.